We now move on to item 8.4.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to move an alternative motion that takes into account the officer recommendation and also the issues raised in the notice of motion, item 12.1, presented by Councillor Hill and myself. And I move what is shown on screen.
Thank you, Councillor Cochrane. Councillor Hill, seconder? Yep. Councillor Cochrane.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is probably one of the more important motions that I will raise with council over my term as councillor, and it's probably one of the more significant ones that hits home to many residents within Kingston, and in particular many residents of Parkdale. Kingston released a survey which saw an overwhelming response of respondents, 1,150 to be precise, which is the second largest amount of response to any survey in Kingston's history. And I think that is really important to highlight, given we're only talking about a very small geographical area. Out of those 1,150 respondents, 95% or near close enough were local, and they provided 2,316 pages of feedback. I'm really proud of Kingston Council for undertaking that consultation, and it's something I think the council and the residents wish the state government had done, had undertaken significant consultation as to what the community are looking for. Tonight, I can say that 76% of our residents were in favour of a rail under, with only 11% in favour of a rail over. We have 600 core flutes hanging on fences, which isn't an easy feat to organise in the middle of a pandemic. We heard from our community about their priorities, and time again, number one was construction method. Number two was the finished look, the feel and the design. And all the way down the bottom at number 7 is the most important thing, which I find it really prudent to highlight, was the creation of more usable public open space. We're in Parkdale, we've got the beach at the end of the street, and the community values more than ever that village character that came up time and time again. This motion is highlighting the need for the rail under to be seriously investigated. We want the state government and the LXRP and the Minister for Transport Infrastructure to really carefully consider the feedback that's been received via the Kingston survey. We are known for our village-like character. As I sat there today and went through hundreds of community submissions, boutique village feel, community village feel. I love watching trains. I love seeing my kid wave to train drivers as they go past. It's a timeless quality that Parkdale Village has. So the community's spoken loud and clear that Parkdale is a destination that you drive to and not through. It's Parkdale, it's not Parkville. So this motion is really asking for some considered and authentic consultation, as the community is screaming for it. We ask why this has been handled so differently to the Balcombe and Charman Road crossings, and in particular the Balcombe, where they saw a fantastic outcome with a capped trench that maintains a lot of the character and the heritage of Mentone. We still have the opportunity to get this project right. I don't want to be part of a council that sat on their hands and saw such a beautiful, beautiful village, quite frankly, I would have to say, destroyed by the overshadowing of such a large concrete structure. And that is why we're asking that some serious, authentic consultation take place. This isn't a rush. There is plenty of time to get this right. Parkdale is iconic. And it would be a real shame that a structure like this stands above the local heritage shops, the heritage shop fronts, only metres away for the next 100 years. It's time that we take it seriously. This will have such a detrimental impact on the fabric of our community, and it's incumbent on the Minister to listen. I'll close by just reiterating it's Parkdale. You drive to it, not through it. It's beautiful. It's known for its weatherboard heritage station. The community loves it and, quite frankly, would be happy to see it stay that way. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Cochrane. Before I ask Councillor Hill to speak, I just wanted to scroll to the second part of the motion, just to ensure that the additional point in relation to the Aspendale pedestrian crossing has been included, because I think that was agreed to by the mover and the seconder prior to the meeting. Is that correct?
That is correct, Mr. Mayor. Yes.
Okay, so that's the motion now. Just to make sure that councillors are aware, it is the version of the amalgamated motion that includes 1.13. Councillor Hill.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I'd also like to thank Councillor Cochrane for this motion and commend him on all the work he's been doing. I know it's not always evident to our residents exactly what is going on behind the scenes, but yeah, Councillor Cochrane has been working tirelessly in the background to represent his community, and I really do hope the local residents, particularly those in Parkdale, appreciate everything that he's doing behind the scenes on their behalf. In a story titled "No Skyrail at Cheltenham and Mentone Stations with Line to Go Underground," which was published in the Herald Sun website on the 20th of February 2017, the Minister, Jacinta Allen, at the time is quoted as saying, "The solution for these communities, Cheltenham and Mentone, will be that the rail line is lowered under the road." She went on to say that's come as a result of the best engineering expertise and planning, and of course feedback from the local community. Fast forward to the 29th of July this year, and it was announced, of course, without any consultation with the community or with us here at Council, that the level crossings at Parkers Road and Warrigal Road are going to be removed, and the government's preferred design solution is a rail bridge over the road. What's more, we're told that there's been initial engineering and technical assessments supporting the decision. Now, I've been contacted by literally hundreds of local residents over the last 8 weeks since the announcement, and not surprisingly, the question I consistently am being asked is, can the Minister justify a completely different solution in Parkdale to what was delivered in Mentone? And I too have to ask, how is it that in 2017, the best engineering expertise recommended the rail line being lowered under the road in Mentone? However, in 2021, and only 850 metres from the Mentone station at Warrigal Road and then further up the road at Parkers Road, are we told that there are technical assessments for Warrigal and Parkers Road that suggest that the rail bridge over the road is the best solution? It just simply doesn't make sense. There's a real discrepancy there, and we're yet to receive an explanation as to the justification why there is such a different approach proposed for Warrigal Road and Parkers Road compared to what's already been delivered in Mentone and Cheltenham. Now, in the absence of the government and the LXRP engaging with the local residents of Parkdale and Mentone prior to the announcement, Council, of course, put together a survey on the Your Kingston, Your Say website, and we heard some pretty important things from our residents on the back of that survey. Importantly, 94.4% of the people who responded were local residents. 900 of the 1,150 respondents were people from Parkdale, 110 from Mentone.
Councillor Hill, do you require an extension?
Yes, please.
Moved Councillor Besley, seconded Councillor Saab. I'll just put that straight to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried.
Thank you. 84.8% do support the removal at Warrigal Road, 62.4% support the removal at Parkers Road. So that's what we were hearing, that the Warrigal Road crossing is seen as more in need of removal than Parkers Road. 76.2%, as Councillor Cochrane pointed out, were in support of a rail under road solution. Only 11.2% supporting rail over road. Council's own heritage study of Parkdale credits the Parkdale strip shops as an intact example of interwar retail design, possibly the best example in all of Kingston. Many of the original facades and interiors are still incredibly well preserved, and this means this needs to be recognised and protected. I think it's also incredibly relevant. I looked at a video where the principal architect of the Surrey Hills and Mont Albert level crossing removals speaks to the process that they went through for those removals. He notes the importance of the feedback received from the community on their initial concept designs. He explains the design of the new station is in response to the history and heritage of the local area and the natural environment. He talks about the importance of blending the new station buildings with the local environment and the building materials that need to reflect existing buildings in the area. He also says the result is a calm, composed, connected design consistent with the surroundings. Now, I'm sure if we were sort of hearing these sorts of words relating to the Parkdale level crossing removals, our residents would be so much more at ease, but these aren't the words we're hearing. In actual fact, we're hearing very little. That's the truth. So the challenge to the government and the LXRPs, they really need to respond to, and I guess we need to see far greater appreciation of the unique characteristics of the local area of Parkdale shops, and we hope the Minister will accept our invitation to visit the sites of the proposed level crossing removals. As I've pointed out, we haven't been consulted. I think this is a real oversight. We need the community to be consulted. The government and the LXRP need to recognise the community as the most important stakeholders here. Genuine and thorough consultation is really not a lot to ask for such an impactful project, and the concerns of our community really do need to be heard and responded to. Remember, 76.2% of our residents support rail under road solution, and I therefore request the rail under road solution be thoroughly investigated and a detailed report, including indicative designs, be made public. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Hill. Councillors, any further comments on this? Councillor Howe.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think we've got a high proportion of disaffected residents in the coastal area that are seeking a design that is considerate of that environment. I think many of us were expecting to hear an Aspinall Mordialloc Skyrail to be announced, but ultimately the reason that we're seeing this design is because a particular party has been elected, and so we have the Skyrail outcome that's been rolled out across Victoria, and the political environment has determined the outcome. So I really want to support Councillors Cochrane and Hill tonight with their advocacy to support the local community and residents with the design that they're looking for, which, there's been concerns of overshadowing, there's been concerns of density increasing in that precinct, and I've heard about the area. And I think that, we really need to be advocating for our local residents, and that's what this motion does. So I'll leave it there. Thanks.
Thank you, Councillor Howe. Councillor Beasley.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Stakos, and thank you, Councillor Cochrane and Councillor Hill, for agreeing to add in about how much we're against the Birdwood Street pedestrian crossing going. What I'm seeing there in Aspinall is what we saw this a few months ago, where we just weren't getting true consultation about it at all from the government. And then, you know, it's obviously a much bigger thing at Parkdale with an entire Skyrail, but the same thing where the consultation, the authentic consultation, just isn't there. And it was for Mentone. We got a really good result because there was good consultation. And now that's just gone out the window. And it's really scary. I think, you know, we're the experts in the local area. Our residents are the experts in the local area, and you need to consult them. And you know, they've just not been consulted. It's just this new way of doing projects without any consultation from residents, from really hearing from them. You get good decisions when you include residents. So I'm really concerned about this Skyrail. I love Parkdale as a destination, as Councillor Cochrane says. It's a wonderful destination, and I'm very concerned about a Skyrail going through there. I'm very opposed to it, and really support what both Councillor Cochrane and Councillor Hill and Councillor House have said today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Beasley. Councillor Davies.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to also support Councillor Cochrane and Councillor Hill and my fellow councillors who've already spoken. I probably take a slightly different tact in that, well, not a different tact, but I recognise that the government has, despite a number of representations and commentary from, you know, the local residents and the, you know, petitions that have gone around, has said it's not going to deviate from the fact that it's going to be a Skyrail. What I am hoping, though, given that there wasn't consultation in relation to whether it was under or over rail, is that there will be serious, deep and respective consultation with the residents about the design. I don't think we need neon pink pillars floating around in Parkdale. I think that if it's going to be Skyrail, they need to look at how they do join the two sides of Como Parade West and Como Parade East. The station itself is a heritage station, and their design people should seriously look at incorporating that still as the station. Obviously, there would need to be an elevator to get to the higher level, but there's no reason why you need to build the station 3 stories high and stick it at the top, which will cause immense shading issues. And they need to take into account the fact that it is very much a village community, and it doesn't need traffic lights at Parkers Road or Warragles Road blocking traffic flows. They've got 2 roundabouts that work there quite well with the current situation. So I do hope that they are really listening to the community about what they want to create. And I do note that in conversations with some of the representatives from SLR, there was a reference to the Glen Huntly station, which I have had a look at, and I can see how they've tried to incorporate there. And I would hope that they would work with the Parkdale station to do something very similar. So I really just want to reiterate that, you know, the community does not want a modern monstrosity just dumped in the middle of very much a village environment. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Davies. Any other councillors wish to speak to this item? I will make a few brief comments then before I ask Councillor Cochrane to make his closing remarks, which is I would like to congratulate particularly the community group Save Parkdale. Dave Harrison has been very busy putting together a community and organising a community in probably the most challenging circumstances, given that we're in an extended period of stage 4 lockdown. I know that that community and the people who have been engaging not only with us councillors, but with the petition to the Legislative Assembly, the petition to the Legislative Council, the change.org petition, all of the emails that we've been receiving, as Councillor Cochrane said, all the placards that have been placed in front of people's homes, in windows, at the shops in Parkdale in particular. I just wanted to congratulate that group for really doing the work and really getting the awareness out there. They are community driven, community minded, motivated for just all the right reasons. They are the people who are getting people to notice what's going on in Parkdale. So my hat goes off to all of you in the Safe Parkdale group. I think that council's survey, as Councillor Hill outlined, council's survey was really well utilised by the community. We had 1,150 responses. We sent it out to around 4,000 households. We had almost 17,000 impressions on our Facebook promotions. We also had over 2,500 people or thereabouts visit the Your Kingston Your Say website. People are engaging in this. They want to participate in consultation. They want to have their voices heard. They want to be part of the decision-making process. And that is what we're asking. We're asking for the people, our residents in Kingston, our community, to be heard, to be respected, to be listened to, and to be part of the decision-making process. So I do want to commend the Safe Parkdale group and also Councillor Cochrane and Councillor Hill for putting together the notice of motion. And importantly, I want to recognise the officer work and the officer work very, very speedily, within days, getting together our wonderful survey so that we can be in a position when we are speaking to government, we're speaking with evidence that's backed up by our community in our survey. Councillor Cochrane.
Thank you, Mayor Stakos, and thank you to all of the other councillors who spoke tonight. I definitely appreciate your support, and I know the hundreds of community members either watching tonight or who will hear about this in the preceding days will be very appreciative. Mayor Stakos, I'd like to also echo the comments towards Dave Harrison and the Safe Parkdale group. I'm extremely grateful for the work Dave has done, being such a connected member of our community up at the Parkdale shops. He runs a fantastic business there that has deep-seated community connection with residents, and I feel, as Councillor Bearsley stated, the community, they know what they want. And I think that is as prudent and as to mention now, given Parkdale's lack of what I will call residential turnover. You seem to come here and you stay here. So such a piece of infrastructure like Skyrail will be detrimental to the community for many, many years to come. I just want to flag in closing that we do welcome, over $400 million worth of investment into our local area. We do welcome the investment, but we welcome it with the right consultation. We welcome it with listening to the community, engaging with the community to get the right outcome. And that outcome needs to speak to the feedback that we've received via the Kingston Council survey. I welcome everyone tonight to read through the motion and understand what council are asking, because we are being very, very clear with the Minister. We're being very clear with the LXRP that we do not want this as a council, and we need to ensure community consultation is at the forefront of any decision-making process. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, councillors, for supporting this tonight.
Thank you, Councillor Cochrane. I'll put that item to the vote. All those in favour? I declare that carried, and may the minutes show that it was carried unanimously.